Now, as a hoarder and collector of many art supplies, there is one that I seem to not be able to shake off, and that is paper. Paper junk, paper ephemera, just all types of paper bits. I mean, I guess it could be seen as my artistic duty to collect all of the ephemera I come across, to therefore add and enhance my journaling experience or my crafty projects. But oh my gosh, you guys, this is just from a week and a half worth of collecting everyday junk. I don't know if you can tell, but these are those big bags that you can find at Home Goods or TJ Maxx by the cash register. And I mean, I got this a while ago. It was on clearance for 70 cents, but this is kind of like my recycle tote. All of my plastic goods and my paper goods go in here, but not to go in the recycle bin, but to be added into one of my journals, to be rehomed into one of my notebooks. And remember, in a few of my other videos, I was sharing how I store, well, is it really storing? I think it's just more throwing in ephemera in these boxes that I have. Some are just clear bins. Some, I find on clearance at craft supply stores, but these are referred to as my treasure chests. My treasure chest full of just everyday bits that I will show you in this video how I turn them into junk journals or my own little crafty projects. Okay, speaking of treasure chest, literally I found this at TJ Maxx, and does this not look like a treasure chest? It has these little hinges, and right here you snap this open, you open it right here. It's not real leather, it's like a wood box, but this is so perfect for my craft room because, well, it's not see-through and it just looks a little bit better when I'm storing this on the shelf. Kind of has like an antique vintage look to it, but I just could not pass this up. Let me show you how it looks right here. And it had multiple sizes, but this is perfect. This is a lot bigger than my original junk box, and it's pretty comparable to like those clear bin cases that you see at your art supply stores. And then here is kind of like, I don't know if you can see, it's like a medium size. So this is how it looks in the inside. This paper bit was inside of it, so I'm definitely going to staple it somewhere in my junk journal that I'm going to make with you. But we're going to sort through my trash and see what we can create. Now keep in mind, if someone like me can put together a junk journal, then you certainly can, because I do not like to commit to something that is overwhelming or that seems very intimidating. And what I've really been enjoying about using, just scraps from everyday life is the low intimidation. I can just slap together, just some random things in my journal and it just comes together. It's very relaxing. Surprisingly, it's very therapeutic for me. And it also opens up my mind to seek art or creativity in everyday items that I would normally just like overlook or not think twice about. So I definitely encourage you to, keep your eyes peeled and give yourself credit, for being a lot more creative than you think is possible. These are just a few pages within my composition notebook, but while I'm still enjoying using this is, just already bound here with some blank paper. I'll link down this brand below. I really enjoy it because it doesn't have the lines. I have so many, paper bits from my recycle bin. I thought, let me challenge myself and make a junk journal completely from junk, including the inner pages. Okay, so if you need inspiration, this is that TJ Maxx bag that I shared with you. I'm going to take out all of this ephemera bits here to show you everyday items that I have saved and that I put in my recycle bin to one day use. Again, maybe you feel like you don't have any cute ephemera or things that you don't come across on a daily basis. Again, you would be surprised. If you're like me and you enjoy like good budget finds, I think here in the States, a lot of people are familiar with TJ Maxx, Ross, Home Goods, and you come across great markdowns on everyday items from handbags, clothes, shoes, home decor, even makeup and hair, products. And this is a hair product that I got And it is, I mean, you guys, I could not resist this packaging. It's like the citrus spray, and it has this, it's supposed to give like a boost with your hair with collagen. But yeah, I definitely fell for the packaging because, you know, it shows like her hair is kind of all frazzled, but then look, it's all sleek and shiny now because of this spray, which obviously I took out because it's in my bathroom. But look, it has these little peekaboo eyeballs, and the inside it's yellow. But I think I'm going to cut this out and make this like a little tuck pocket where I can just tuck it in. And I thought that was so cute. So you know I had to keep this. These are just quirky things that I just hold on to. I got a new hairbrush, but I love the little ghost illustration here. It kind of has like a holographic look to it. And this soap smells delicious. Okay, not delicious to eat, but it's just so beautiful. It just smells so lovely. It's rose scented, but look at this beautiful packaging. Made in Portugal. And I'm just waiting for my other bar to go out, run out. It's like very, very, it has, you know, it's almost at the end, but once it's ready, I'm going to keep this beautiful foiling here. That is just to show you how, you know, you can come across everyday things and incorporate it within your journal. I know how to make pancakes from scratch, but my husband, he loves the Cracker Barrel pancakes. I have a few other family members that love, you know, Cracker Barrel pancakes. And when I went, they have a little gift shop, if you're familiar with that. Cracker Barrel, you guys, this was like the first time in my life. I've never been to a Cracker Barrel. I've never eaten at a Cracker Barrel. I've heard of it, but 2025, this was my first time in my life that I've eaten at a Cracker Barrel, and it was earlier this year. And you know, it's your typical chain. I would definitely say it's a step up from like IHOP and Denny's, but you know, it's a corporate chain, and you know, it's cute. It has like a rustic, you know, cozy kind of vibe. But I was wondering what makes this pancake taste so much different that, you know, my husband loves the pancakes. Now, on top of their maple syrup, well, it's 50% maple and 50%, you know, sugar, or is it cane sugar? I looked at the ingredients, and it has yellow corn flour, which makes sense because it does kind of have like a light, you know, like sweet cornbread taste. So I figured, oh, that's the secret recipe. So I bought this. I bought this just, you know, for days where I don't have buttermilk or I don't have milk, you know, in my fridge. This already has, you know, like milk, the butter, and everything that you need to make pancakes. So, but look at this box. Look at this box. I know, maybe to you it just seems kind of basic, but just the blue and the brown with the pancake, I figured this could be the cover of my junk journal. And then just more mailers that I can tuck in. Okay, let's get to the meat of today's project. For the sake of time, let me get a sip of my coffee. By the way, one of you noticed and you asked if this was a Poland mug, and yes, it is. I did not pick this up in Poland, but it is a ceramic mug, handcrafted in Poland. On the bottom here, it does have the made in Poland, but I actually got this, I think last year, again from TJ Maxx Home Goods. And yeah, I just love the design on here. It's so pretty. And it's one of my happy mugs. I knew I was going to need energy for today's session. But for the sake of time, I went through my other bin because, you know, I have a few treasure chests, but we're still going to get through these here too. Let me show you. If you ever get packages, okay, sometimes it will be protected by, you know, not only tissue paper or bubble mailers, but sometimes, you know, paper like this. That's what I'm going to be using. This came in a package, and the business, you know, they just crumpled up this paper, and I just put this on the edge of my counter and kind of flattened it out, and I ripped it up because it was a lot larger. I ripped it up here, and last night I just started grabbing pieces of paper and kind of eyeballing it where it kind of matches your standard, like letter size paper here. You know, like your standard like printer paper. And this was a napkin that I scanned. You guys might have remembered it. It's in my treasure chest. But I love this beautiful design, so I scanned the napkin, and I found this in my paper pile because that's something, you know, I've been wanting to use. So I have that in there. And then this is watercolor paper. I've shown in other videos where maybe if you don't have ephemera, you can make your own pretty paper colors by just watercoloring. Days where I just don't feel motivated to write or to put a lot of effort into thinking, I still want to be crafty with my hands. And on a perfect day when it's, you know, gloomy and raining, like today, I will just paint, put something in the background, a video, a podcast, Downton Abbey, right? Some type of cozy comfort, and or even like music, or sometimes you can just sit in silence. But just painting is very relaxing to me. And this is one of the pages. You could see on the other side there's nothing there, and I added some watercolor. This is again paper from packages, more printer paper. This I actually scanned, as you can tell, like ephemera. So I scanned a plastic bag that says thank you, thank you, thank you. You can even see where it folded. And then this is, I literally cut this out of a box, and you can see all of like the rough edges here. This is the fragile sticker. I couldn't peel it off the box, so I just ripped out the box. And then this is a mailer, a bubble mailer. So that will be going in here. So yeah, just to give you an idea, just rip up pieces of paper. These are, you know, like envelopes. I just split open envelopes. Like these, I can just like tuck something in here and use this. Even though I kind of busted it open, you can still use that. And what I'm going to do now that I have like pieces of paper, what is this here? Oh, like mailers, yeah, like this here. My toner on my printer was running low. I didn't want to throw this away, but I can definitely use this. Even though like all of the brown and the green, you know, did not come out, I'm going to use this because I like that effect. And just scraps from, you know, journals, Barnes & Noble, scrap pieces of paper where I do collage. Scanned images. And then speaking of mailers, sometimes, oh look, I use this from like a net. I think it was from like oranges or tangerines. And I just love the look of the net, so I scan that on there. And some more wording that I come across. This is actually from, as you can see, a bubble mailer, and I just scanned that along with this tamper evident tape that I got from DoorDash. But now I can actually write on top of this. Whereas if I try to really, you know, sew this in, or not sew, I don't even sew, but if I really tried to like bind this as a journal, I couldn't write on it because, you know, it would be too bubbly. And then here is the bubble mailer on the other side. I scanned the Trader Joe's man, and then just scraps of paper. And this is from a box that I, you know, literally scanned from a box. Please open immediately. I cut this out, and then on the other side of the box, it had my favorite color, yellow packing tape, and this I think is going to be the cover. So I'm going to place all of these pages in a way that I feel like is kind of going to flow well, and then I'm going to get my awl here, and I'm going to poke, like once all of these pages are in a way that I like, you know, I'm going to play around with it. I don't want to keep you guys here for that. But just imagine, I already got my bone, what's it called? My bone file or folder. And then just kind of, you know, press the center so it's very, very smooth and easy to poke through. And then just fold it. I'm going to fold it in half, and then again, like poke the hole in the middle. I'm going to poke 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get my thread and then thread it through, and we'll see how this turns out. So I think I have my pages, well, I don't think, I do have my pages all rearranged here. And don't be like me, okay? Be careful when you are using sharp objects and tools. I got a little carried away with my awl here, and basically how I bound this scrappy journal was, just arrange the pages how you'd like. So you just kind of hum and haw over, where you want the pages, and you can see this is how it turned out. But before I flip through it, you're going to make sure that all of the pages are centered the way that you want them. Get some type of binder clip, okay, that will hold these pages, in place. I got my little chip clip right here, and just some little binder clips. And you don't have to use this, but I had this in my drawer. This is very, very sharp, and this is what I used for leather projects in the past. But basically, you're going to want to put in 3 holes in the center, and then what I did was, once the holes were pretty much punctured through to the other side, I got a sewing needle, and I pretty much got this wax thread that came with it all, and I just snipped it. I made sure it was long enough to kind of loop in and out. And basically you want to start here in the middle, okay? So you want to make sure your long thread is hanging out from the needle once you poke the holes. I mean, you don't have to use the awl. If your needle is sharp enough, you can, but this definitely just helped kind of drive it through. And you're just going to put your needle through the middle first, okay? So it's going to come through out here, and then what I did is I went through on the top, or you can do the bottom, doesn't really matter. And then as it came through, I went back under, kind of like a fish. It went back under here, and then I went back out up here, and then I tied it. As you can see, I tied it here with a knot. So just imagine yourself kind of diving in like a fish. You go down, okay, and then you go through, back up for air. You go back down in the middle, and then you go back through for air, and then you come and tie, okay? And that is how I made this. So we're gonna flip through it before we paste in all of this extra stuff, but I love how raw the edges are. That's one appealing thing about junk journaling. I feel like myself, it's not perfect. The imperfections kind of add to the story, and while some of the edges are extra long, I can just tear through it like this, or I can even use my scissors and give it a little haircut if I wanted to, just kind of trimming it up a little like this. It's all a matter of preference, because I still have to figure out what cover. This is not the actual cover. I still want to put it either in that pancake box or maybe like an Amazon mailer, but I'm just showing you, step by step through the process. All right, so as we flip through here, this I just love the variety of colors and texture. I think that was the main thing that pulled me to kind of make this out of everyday junk, was that there's different colors here, and there's variety without using my printer. And this Barnes & Noble paper bag, I can actually, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut that. There we go. I can actually tuck this actually and make this like a cover. Oh, there we go. Okay, but this can be a little pocket, and then I can just tuck this. And that was why I wanted to keep it like that, to tuck in stuff. And then this, I think, did I forget to censor out my address? Yeah, on this one it has my address, but this is the mailer. And that. See, this is like another envelope that I can tuck something in right here. But you see how it just all came together, and then here's the middle, which I think I can glue in some more pockets that I can tuck in like this. And this is how it looks on the other side. And now now I'm going to go through my trash bin. Okay, here's the other side of that Barnes & Noble. This is actually a little too long. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to cut that at an angle, and this could be a little pocket. If you follow right here, if you follow where that paper bag goes, you'll see it's from this Barnes & Noble paper bag. And that can slip in something in here. My little peekaboo tuck pocket. And oh my gosh, I'm just so excited with how this turned out. It was so easy. And wow, yeah, I think I'm loving this. I mean, not more than this one, but they're just different. They're different because this was already, you know, had the pages there, the blank pages, but this is literally just from all of my junk. So now let's go through those boxes, or that big old bin. We're gonna start with this, the Chipotle. I already know I want to cut this, and because this junk journal was handcrafted, I thought this was perfect. These side illustrations, I'm going to use this. And oh, it has it on the other side too. Oh, you know what? I could have kept it like that, and then this could have been a neat way to tuck it out. Maybe I could still do that. Find a place to glue this and make it tuck out. I'm gonna put this here. But what I like about this is that I can actually pull this out. Like I can put like a picture or a quote and then pull this out, and it's like an accordion, like it has more to that. This has extra paper that's preventing it from closing. So I'm just gonna snip that. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Okay, Chipotle bag coming through. And we'll save that. Handcrafted. I'm gonna put this maybe here. I'm telling you, once you start collecting all of this ephemera, it gets kind of addicting. It really does, because it's almost like a challenge and you get hooked in, and now you find ways of challenging yourself to use something that may not be used in the second form that you're going to be applying it. Handcrafted. The everyday, I'm gonna keep that. Made. Yeah, this is made fresh. I'm just gonna say made. Freshly handcrafted. I'm gonna put LY, no, I'll just say handcrafted right there. We'll just add this here. I mean, if you have tape runner, you can use this as well. I just find the glue, I get more out of the glue stick. And I'm using the Elmer's extra strength, by the way. And then every day I can put something like right here, journaling every day, or art magic every day, junk journal every day. I can always just add my own alpha stamps and create something like that. Oh no, but I kind of like how I layered it. Maybe I'll put it down here. Something every day. We'll put this aside. And let's see what else. I got these sardine. I'm gonna use this. I like the image. I could, let me see, where did I cut it? I cut it there, okay. I could just technically tape this in, and then this could be like a little tuck pocket. What do you think? I don't want to cut off his head, but I could definitely put something there. Yeah, let me try that. Let me get my tape runner. I think what's been so satisfying with junk journaling is the fact that, you know, it's not perfect, and that is a process that I find really connects with me. An imperfect process, because, you know, if something feels too careful or it feels too like there's a procedure or like it has to be neat, then I typically tend to pull away. But because I'm just using everyday randomness, there's almost like this I don't know, there's like this spark within me that just finds again like this thrill of repurposing this trash and turning this imperfect junky thing into a perfectly bound system that will turn into a beautiful ending. So I'm excited to see how like throughout the weeks this is going to come together. Some other trashy bits that we have are, let me look. Okay, remember this image from the Dollar Tree? Yeah, it was the Dollar Tree. Okay, I like this image, and I was going to use this as a cover to kind of paste over, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this, and technically, even though it has like this calendar right here, I can cover that. Yeah, I'm actually going to cover it right now. I can cover that with another tuck pocket, and let me just put, let me show you here. My desk is a mess, but this is just the fun part, not putting thought into having everything neatly organized. All right, so I covered that, and this can be used right here as a little tuck pocket. And this other side, I want to cover it. I could cover it with, let me see, something where I can write over it. Let me look. What do I? Okay, maybe I can use this heart. I like a type of texture that I can still write over it if I needed to, because my intention with this is to actually journal. I do want to journal in it. I do want to write. I want to put quotes. You know, I want to put little phrases on here. I don't want it to just be an imagery project. I don't want it to be just a glue book. I do want to put stuff in here, like my written words, basically. And then with this type of paper bag, I can still write on here with my gel pens, with my ballpoint. This extra part, I can actually let it hang over. I'm gonna rip it so it looks a little less perfect. Give it a little tear. Or maybe, should I leave it? No, I'll just glue it a little bit. I saw a lot of your comments saying that you were inspired to start your own junk journal, and I've seen some videos pop up like through the algorithm, like all these junk journal videos are now coming through, which is very fun. It's so neat seeing, you know, how other people's creative process, you know, comes together and what their thought process is. So now that I have this, I already bound this, but what I could do is stick this in like with some tape. Hold on, let me think. I can get double-sided tape. There's a lot of envelopes right here though. Where is it kind of plain? Here in the middle. I kind of like this because the picture's kind of peeking through. Oh, okay. Like that. So what I'm gonna do, I could use my tape runner, but I think, hold on. I'm gonna create like a little door. Little. It's like a little flap. Like this. Okay. I've watched some, you know, I have been into junk journaling for years, meaning it's always, you know, piqued my curiosity, and I just never really, you know, showed it because that wasn't what my channel was primarily based on. But I've watched quite a few videos throughout, you know, the years. I'd say like over 6 or 7 years to pick up some tips and tricks. And you learn a lot. You learn some cool strategies from these crafty artists. All right, so that worked out. So I put that there. And as you can see now, we have kind of like this little, this flap. It was just added in here. A few other things. Let's go through my bag. You know, I just like the way that this looks. And you can staple this in, but I'm just going to, like, random bits just come together. I think off camera, I'm going to start, you know, like journaling, putting in my thoughts. And I have to look through what I'm going to create for my cover. Maybe you can help me. But, you know, just doing this is just really uplifting. I don't know. It's a very good stress reliever. And, it just motivates me to just keep my, you know, eyes open and to exercise and stretch my imagination. I know I keep emphasizing that, but it really is true. This envelope, and you know, I've been going through a slump, I would say, and maybe just overwhelmed with consumerism and just, I don't know. I feel like something like this is just so different that it's stimulating and in the best way. And you know, I did not have to pay for this, but it feels new. There's excitement behind this because it feels like a new thing. Okay, this I think I try not to force myself to use everything at once, just in case like other ideas come. But okay, I'm gonna do that same hinge thing, but I'm gonna use this. Yeah, I try not to force myself to use up everything at once or to shove everything in the journal at once, because I know inspiration will strike at like random times and at different times. So I allow myself to, you know, just kind of go with the flow. Okay, and then on this side, what is actually going to work, because this is, again, this is a paper bag, I can still write on this little flap here. Like I can still journal right there. But now you can see like it's attached because of this little paper flap. Oh my gosh, you guys, can you tell I'm just loving how this, like, it looks chunky, but it actually can flatten like this. Okay, I just finished dinner and I was starting to junk journal to show you how easy this was, and then I realized my camera wasn't on. So luckily I didn't get too far in the process. I only started with one thing. So don't worry, you didn't miss out much. I pulled all of that trash that I showed you in the beginning of the video, where I pulled all of this, you know, stuff from that TJ Maxx bag. These are all my recyclables, and I just kind of have them already, you know, in a pile to save time. But we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through it in order, and you're gonna see how easy it is. Just like boom, boom, bam, 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 and just put it in here. And like I say, if I can do it, you certainly can do it, and yours will probably be a lot better than mine, because my artistic flow is just very fluid, very freeing, very funky, and just very imperfect. Very imperfect. So this gift card backing, I just cut right here in the middle where it says "You deserve to be celebrated," and then I just used my tape to tape it in here. Next, speaking of Cracker Barrel, this is that they put this like the basket. This is the basket. What's it called? Not lining. There we go. That they use for like their biscuits. And you know, I just had to slip this out of the basket. Luckily, whenever I go out to eat, again, I'm the only person in my immediate life, in my social circle, that's into stationery and journaling and really anything kind of like paper crafty. So I don't have to fight against anyone. Could you imagine if I had like a sibling or like a parent or just anyone in my day-to-day life that I had to fight over? Like, no, I get that. No, I get that ephemera. Gosh, that would be difficult. Maybe we could share. So what I am going to do, I'm not going to put a lot of thought into this. I'm really just going to do this kind of intuitive process where wherever it feels good and looks good, it's going to go. It's going to be stuck in there. A couple of things that I could consider, like something like this. I could put some tape or washi, and I can use this to, this is kind of like parchment paper, but I could use this to open up as a flap, or I can tape it right here on the left side and open it like that. I can put it here on the bottom and it can open up like this, or I can put it on the top and it can open up like that. So many possibilities. I mean, I could technically, if I really wanted to get crafty, I could like glue these two, and then like this could be another pocket. Oh, actually, now that I said that, hold on. Now that I said that, wait a second. Now that I said that, I should have done that. Okay, okay. You know, thinking out loud sometimes has its benefits. Yeah, we will do that because this is kind of, but I feel like I have a lot of pockets already. Oh, but I do like how you can kind of see through that. Hold on, let's see. I'm gonna fold it a little bit like that. So this back part, I kind of, oh, I don't mind if it sticks out a little bit here so you can see it. Okay, let's just put some glue. And you can see right here, this is just regular printer paper that I put in the center. And I was testing out like my toner, and it clearly was running out of ink. We're just gonna add that there. And then I think to make it kind of like a pocket, I'll just glue a little bit like that. Because maybe I could even just leave this side open. Okay, yeah, I'll just do that for now. I'll just keep this one side sealed, and then here I'll keep open. I mean, I can always seal it back, but I'll just keep it open for now, and then I'll leave that extra bit hanging out for now. Next pile, or next item, and we're gonna try to get through this quickly, right? We don't wanna overthink. More pockets. I love pockets, just like in my handbags. The more pockets, the better. This I didn't want to fold this in half and, you know, have half of the pocket. I wanted to use like the full size of it, only because I like how I can see the please recycle and the window. So something like this, I think what I could do is actually just tape this in with some washi. Hold on. Or I can use my little, I'm gonna use a little flapper here, but I don't want to cover the window. Okay. So I'm gonna glue this so that way it attaches to the envelope, and then this part, I like how there's contrast right here, but you can still see it says please recycle. Well, it's kind of thick. Let me make it slightly thinner. Ever so slightly thin. Okay. And then I'm going to use this because I don't want to get extra glue and then these pages stick together as I'm continuing to work through this. Okay. So now that we have this, okay, now it's kind of bound like that, but I can see through the window. It's attached in here, and it has like this please recycle, so I can put a paper clip and keep this closed. I can even put some washi right now and seal it up. Maybe this could be like a future note to myself: do not open until like 2030 or something. So I'll just keep that sealed. Okay, so we have that. Next in the pile, this was again just you know, wrapping paper. I should have tucked this in when I was binding it, but again, I overlooked this piece of paper because I was just so excited. But I think what we could do, I like layers. I love seeing like layers in other people's junk journals, and I think this would look really good if I added a layer as well, but with a little pop. So let's use this red. Yeah, this red washi strip, and we will just put it like right here. I noticed too, you know, just with experience, you know, certain brands of washi, you know, it matters. Typically in my experience, the cheaper, not always, but most of the time, you know, the cheaper the washi tape, like price point, the less adhesive or sticky it is. So yeah, I've come across, you know, washi tape from like the Dollar Tree or Big Lots or what's it called, Five Below, but it's not as adhesive as like those good quality like $5 rolls that you'll come across or higher, at least in my experience. So this is nice here. I have already a little page that I can write on, and this I'm just going to add right here. We will do I think I'll use a red again because I have a little bit here left over from my printer toner, but let me just stick that there. As I continue to fill this journal up, again, I will keep you updated and I'll show you. I was really surprised that a lot of you were interested in like this junk journal, and I've seen like the algorithm has been showing me a few of you like with your junk journals, and a few of you mentioned me in your description. So I'm happy to, you know, boost your creative flow, because this is so fun. This is so fun. And let's see. Okay. Next in the pile, this is that folder here. I tore off the other side, but I like this color, this yellow. But I kept this part where it was sealed, the closure. And I was thinking, at first I was thinking of just using this strip and then gluing it oh, actually, now that I say that, but it's exactly like this size. I could have added it in here, or I could still, let's see. I mean, I could still technically fold this and then add it in here, and then, I could save it, but the whole point is I need to use it up. I want to use it up. I think the yellow would look really good here. Let's see, or even, okay, right here. It's looking a little beige and white and plain. So let's do that. Okay, let me fold this, and I'm just gonna rip it. I kind of like the torn edges, or just use your nail like this. Okay, and I like that part. So when I close it, will it over? Okay, no, it's still gonna be good. There, I could use clear tape, but I have all this pretty washi that I want to use. Ooh, I kind of like this green. Okay. I could even do double colors. Hold on. So I'll do that, and then I'll do another color. Or I kind of like, no, I kind of like this green. I'll do another long strip. Little stick in there. Okay, that looks really good. And then I could do one in the center, but it's pretty secure on there, because again, this is like pretty good quality washi. Next in the pile, we have this Bass Pro bag. I wanted that part where it says your adventure starts here. It's on both sides, so I want to make sure I'm only cutting one of the bags. So let me just go like this. And I kind of like this circle here, because I could do some type of illustration. Oh, and it's kind of like a peekaboo door. Yeah, let me do that actually. Let me cut the name, and I'll do some type of illustration where there's like something hidden. But would it be easy if I folded it over? That might be a little tricky. Maybe I should push this somewhere in the back. Or let's see, right here. I like the contrast right here. Or, okay, you know what? Let's just put it on the, well, we'll think about that. We'll think about that. The main focus was this, the fish, and then your adventure starts here. I really wanted this to be in the front of the junk journal because this has been a fun, creative adventure. It's going to continue to be a fun, creative adventure. Oh, I could even put this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right here. I like it in the front. Let me get my glue stick. By the way, I noticed, I mean, this is just my experience. That Oohoo glue stick I was using, there was a page spread that I did and it started lifting. So maybe it was the material. I can't recall the material I was using, but this Elmer's extra strength, it has never failed me. So I just went back to that. And then they used to make this one that was called the Extreme, but I think they discontinued it. Okay, the Y is kind of cut off, so let me stretch it out a little bit. Let me position it a little bit. And it just starts here. Okay, that looks good. And I'm just gonna carry it all the way through on the other side. Wow, that looks beautiful. I love that. Next, okay, this is all coming together. It kind of looks like a caution tape. Next, these are, I normally don't eat like processed pastries, but at the moment, my favorite bakery was closed. And I was just craving some type of sweet, like I love apple pastries, and I just did not have the time to cook and make it myself. And if you're like me, I don't know, I fall for, like, if I'm not familiar with a product, but I see that it's almost out on the shelf, I just assume it's really good and like everyone's buying it. So I saw that this was stocked and there was only like 4 left, and I know it's a seasonal thing, so I thought, well, maybe this is really, really good. And you know, for an instant cookie mix, it's actually pretty good. I put on my own extra cinnamon and like a little bit of more like brown sugar on the top before I threw it in the oven, but it'll do. It definitely fulfilled my my craving for that time. But I liked this design, this green right here, and I could use this as some type of border or somewhere on one of these brown, ooh, okay, hold on, somewhere on, hold on, let me see, I kind of like it right there, but let's make it a little thin, or let's, oh, you know what, I can make it into a triangle. How about that? I can make it into a, oh no, but that wouldn't work because it's not a triangle, because it's kind of like a junk journal edge. Here it's a triangle, or here it could be a triangle. So that might look good there, and then I could put that there. Okay, that would work, but let's do a reverse because I like the small on the top and then the bigger on the bottom. Yeah, that would work. We're gonna add this here in the corner. And besides journaling, I had a friend, we were like talking on the phone, and she was just, you know, saying how she wished she had like a hobby like mine, because she's, you know, busy with her life and her business, and she's like, oh, I wish I had a hobby like you and I could just, you know, drown myself in my hobby. But I told her, I feel like you do have hobbies, but you don't see it as hobbies because it's kind of part of your lifestyle. Like, she's a really good designer, interior design, and I, you know, feel like that is her hobby. She has an eye for design and what looks good in her home. But then we were just discussing, you know, like friends and people that we know in our life that have interesting hobbies that, you know, that we just find so fascinating. And I mentioned to her, like, one of my friends, she is it really a hobby? It's more kind of like a thing that she does, like with traveling, right? When people would collect like shot glasses. Is that really a hobby, or is that kind of like a quirk that you do, right? And she goes, because she travels like internationally, she's a flight attendant, and one of her thing is she will go to the grocery store wherever she's visiting and get like a couple of snacks, and she just collects like foreign snacks. She'll keep the wrapper and she'll just pick up foreign snacks. And then I have another friend, I think I mentioned, she enjoys just peeling off the fruit stickers and putting them in her journal. And then what were a few other ones we were saying? Yeah, photography. One of our friends, they don't have many, but there's like a particular year or particular type of cameras that they like look for. So yeah, I just would like to know, are you like that? Like outside of journaling, is there something that you would consider kind of like a hobby or like a challenge that you push yourself to do, other than maybe like collecting ephemera? Is your other hobby like bird watching, or you like to collect certain, I don't know, ribbons, or you like to collect certain napkins from restaurants? It's like a quirky thing. What kind of quirky thing do you find yourself doing? Let me see here. And everyone knows in my social circle, I'm the quirky friend that collects stickers, that enjoys fountain pen inks and all that kind of stuff. I like the fish. I thought about just using it as a flap, but I think I'm just gonna glue it in. And let me do this like that. Okay. Oh yeah, one of our friends, she has this thing. Again, I don't know if is it really a hobby or it's like a creative challenge. She has tried making like different versions of macaroni and cheese. And she'll find different, ways to make macaroni and cheese on Pinterest, and she's trying to find like her go-to like signature recipe, making it with different types of cheese, different type of seasonings, different type of pasta. So I just think that's so fascinating how some people, they don't see what they are interested in as a hobby, but to me, I think that's kind of a hobby. I'm just gonna glue that on there. One of my other friends, other than handbags, she has so many bottles of nail polish. She loves doing her own nails, but she doesn't see that as a hobby. She just kind of thinks it's kind of like her beauty routine. But I find that really beautiful, and I feel like it is an artistic hobby, because I'm telling you guys, if you've gone to those nail salons where they have the whole wall full of the shelves of nail polish, she probably has 100. And I'm not judging her, because we all have our thing, but it's just so beautiful because she has different brands, she has different sparkles, different tones, and she loves doing like designs. She doesn't do other people's nails, but she loves doing her nails, but she doesn't see that as a hobby. But I do. I think that's just so beautiful. So I think sometimes when people admire others that have hobbies, there may be something in life that you do, but you don't see it as a hobby, but it could be classified as one, or like a passion project, maybe. Would you call that a passion project? Okay, the apple is looking delicious along with these cookies. Should I keep these cookies? You know what I'm going to do for now? Because I want to find a really good homemade recipe. If you have some good recipes, apple pastry recipes or cookie recipes, share below. Maybe I will copy and print yours out. But I think for now, I'm going to keep these in my little treasure chest, but I will recycle the rest. Oh, actually, no. Hold on. I wanted to use the rest of this green right here. Okay. Because this could almost look like washi tape, right? Like a green washi tape strip. And I feel like that green and green kind of matches here with the fish. Or I could put it like that. No, that's not looking good. Or I could put it, let's see. Okay, you know what? Where it says every day. Okay, yeah, that's where I'll put it. Every day. Like that. So let me use my glue. And then we're going to work through that pile. Now, if I wasn't, talking and putting this on YouTube, this would probably take me at the most, maybe like 20 minutes. But that's me looking up, watching, my screen, or watching an episode of something, Downton Abbey or something, where I'm, kind of distracted. But if I was not distracted and I was, just put in a room to just solely focus on this junk journal, yeah, this would only take me maybe like, after the binding, maybe 15 minutes. But because I'm like talking to you, I'm having to multitask here. All right, so that's that. There we go. Next, let's see, what else do we have off to the side? This glue is sticking. Okay, that Chipotle bag. And I don't know if it was the cashier, one of the employees, they already had this already pre-written. Have a great day. This is beautiful. I like this. I'm a sucker for handwritten anything, especially like when I go out to eat and like the waitress or the waiter, when they write like, have a nice day, or thank you for coming in. Yeah, I keep that. And I put it in my journal. I keep that because it's so hard and it's rare coming across handwritten anything. Like, I don't even know, do kids, not kids, but like do teenagers in middle school and high school still write? Is that even a requirement? Because everything is so digital, they can just submit all their homework, online. Have a great day. Okay, you can see this is long. So I am going to tape, have a great day every day. Okay, yeah, that kind of works actually. Have a great day every day. But I don't want double words. Have a great day every day. Right there. I love that contrast. Just like that. Where's my pencil board? Hold on. You guys remember that pencil board that we made together? Let me get it. Because I don't want to glue my pages by accident. Yeah, this one. This was that pencil board that I shared with you. That was for my composition notebook. We're just going to add this like that. Ooh, looking good. Yep, looking good. Next, okay, we're working through this rather quickly. That parchment paper. I wanted to use this, and I think the contrast kind of looks good right here. Let me rip this. Hold on. And when I open it, okay, yeah, that looks nice. Have a nice day. The brown and brown kind of matches. If you have a lot of washi tape, again, I feel like junk journaling is the perfect way to use up your washi tape, because it's a great excuse to add a little bit of color or design or variety to it, especially if you're using it to, tip in. Hold on, I need something to stick to. Okay, right there. And then right there. Yep, that looks good. And this other parchment paper, this junk journal, I can already tell, is going to sound deliciously crinkly. I could technically just use glue. I'm going to use glue. I'm just going to glue this in here, but it'll still flap open, like once it's dry. So we got okay, that's good to go. This beautiful tissue paper. Tracy, if you're watching, thank you so much for your package. I'm still working on yours. Don't worry. It's going to come. It's going to come. Just been busy. I'm a very slow snail mailer. Oh, speaking of snail mail. Okay, hold on. You guys, I have to show you this. I'm going to do a separate video, but I have to show you this. This is just so adorable. I'm going to cover the sender's name, but I'm working on yours as well. Look at these beautiful stamps. And Isabel, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Look at this. Oh yeah, that's my P.O. box. I get quite a few messages asking, what my mailing address is, and you're welcome to use this if you'd like. You can screenshot that. But look how pretty. She drew this little, she went over with the pink stamp with the little I don't know if you can tell, but it's like sparkly. And then with the mouse, she put like cute little pink cheeks on here. So I think I'm gonna cut this out and put it somewhere in my junk journal, but we'll see. And then on the back, she put, oh my gosh, it's so adorable. So things like this is why I'm inspired to junk journal and also use my composition notebook that you guys have seen, because I want to add like all that paper ephemera and stuff in some type of journal outside of my commonplace book or outside of my Hobonichi and outside of my Moleskine, because they will bulk up so quickly. And a lot of those pieces of paper are already large and they're so big. But for Tracy's, let me see. Okay, I don't want to waste this tissue paper because I could definitely reuse this. But I do want a little like sliver of it. Ooh, right here. This, yep, caught my eye. Let me rip this. That would look real good. Let me just put this on the edge with the white on white. We'll have it peek through a little bit. Oh wow, and I like how, okay, those little dots came through. That looks so nice. Let me just put a little bit right there. This is coming together so beautifully. This other piece of tissue paper, I think, oh wait, hold on. How did this, ooh, I did not think about that. That got stuck. Okay, there we go. That's fine. We'll rip it like that. And then we will put that right there. What side is what side? Okay, right here. And I thought about going to like a pen convention, a pen show, but I figured, you know what? I'm not really, it's not worth it for me at this point in my life to get a plane ticket, fly out somewhere to buy fountain pens when I'm really content with my collection. But what I am going to do is that money that I was already considering using, that's just going to be applied to my 2026 lineup. So we will talk about that maybe in another video, because I don't want to say what I'm using now, because it's like once I say it, my mind may change. But I will say I am looking at the Hobonichi Weeks again, because you guys know I've really enjoyed using the Hobonichi Weeks this year. And of course, I'm going to have my girl Moleskine. I'm going to have a Moleskine, definitely. Compositions are going to be part of my lineup now. Or maybe because I'm having so much fun making my own junk journal. Who knows? This was just so fun. So fun. Okay, anyway. This plastic bag. Oh no, I cut it. Oops. I'm gonna use that. Okay. Is anyone else excited for fall? I'm ready for fall. You guys, I already started shopping for Halloween decoration. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Do you decorate your home for Halloween? I mean, I don't go all out, but we definitely have a lot of children and, you know, families in my neighborhood versus, you know, like maybe versus like a retired neighborhood. I do have, you know, like young families. And I don't know, I just feel like I want to, you know, do it for the kids, you know, do it for the kids when they walk by. And it's just so fun. So each year I'm just adding a little bit more things to the yard, to the outside. But I definitely am excited for passing out the king size bar candy for the kids, because when I was younger, that was like a dream of mine. Like, oh, I can't wait till I'm an adult, because then I'll have money to get the king size bars. But you don't realize until you're adult, like, dang, those candies are not cheap. Like just regular candy in general. But I try to get the good candy for the kids that, you know, may not receive it otherwise, because I know my parents, they never bought candy in the house, and it was only in the month of October moving into November that we had candy because of Halloween. So I try to make it special for other kids that may be in my situation growing up, where, I mean, we all know candy's not healthy, so I'm definitely not knocking my parents for choosing not to have, you know, candy all the time, but just want to make it just fun and nostalgic for the kids growing up during that season. I like this right here. What do you think? Or should I put it in the front, on front here? You know what I could do? I could just tape it and then it could go like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Should I put a washi strip? Yeah, I think I'll do that because I could change my mind and I might regret if I glue it down. So let me just put tape. This brown kind of match. I have a lot more washi, but I've picked out the ones that were a little bit more kind of neutral, or colors that I wouldn't mind, looking at. I didn't want any type of colorful design. So for now, I will stick that on there. Okay, so we got through this. This was part of that folder. Okay, we got through all of that, you see? And now, last but not least, working through, a couple other things I wanted to add. If you have like lots of Post-it notes or notepads, you could do this, okay? Rip those out, okay? Rip those out. Notepads, you guys, I have so many cute notepads. Use them for my grocery list. I write them for like pen pal little notes, just notes to family, like just little reminders. So cute. But they always come with like 1,000 pages. Like, how are you gonna finish that? So I usually try to stick these in like pen pal packages, but I could easily put this adorable, oh my gosh, she is such a cutie, is she not? Oh my gosh, right here, it's perfect, right? I feel like that color looks good right there. So I have my clear tape, or hold on, this blue. Yeah, this blue would look so adorable. I'm gonna use, this is by the Scotch tape brand, by the way, Scotch Expressions. I think I got this at Staples, and I'm surprised how this washi is strong. It's literally like tape. So once you set it down, don't really expect to peel it back up. This is probably one of more of my favorite brands for washi, the Scotch. I would just wish they had more designs. Like, I only need that one, and I'm good to go. Okay. So the little teacup here is going to hang out. So I could tuck it in, or I'm just gonna cut it, because I can still visually see like the little kitties in a cup. Yep, that is adorable. And then going back to all of my trash that I saved. Okay, you know what? I noticed I didn't really work much in the back, did I? But this would be good to use as a door flap. Okay, so for now, what I'm going to do, I think I'll just put some tape here. And then I could use it like that where I rinse this out, yeah. Like that. Next, this adorable chocolate bar wrapper. I really just like the little girl's face. She was so cute. I think with this image, I want to just like right here, because this is short, so I can just use this. Oh my gosh, that's cute. And then on the other side, well, okay, what I'm going to do with that, because it has a little bit of that chocolate, I'm just going to put some tape and cover it. Yeah, I'm going to use my tape. And this is really strong tape, by the way. I'm just going to cover it to the very edge. Ta-da! So now I could still use this side. Okay, hold on. Oh, put a little too much tape right here. Let me rip that. Okay. So right here, where I journal on that side, I can flip it over and I have that. Okay, that looks good. This packaging enclosed. I really don't want to cover up this part because I like that design from the mailer. Oh, did this come out of the washi? Oh, okay, looks like it did. So in that case, we're just going to use, you know what, hold on. We're just going to use the tape. Oh wait, no, it's not working on that. We're going to use glue. There we go. That's good. This packaging enclosed, that would look good in the front. Oh, no, right here. This would look good because it's really plain on this white piece of paper. And even though What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this part so I can still tuck stuff in. So it could be like a pocket. Okay, let me seal the bottom with some glue. So basically, if I wanted to put in something, or even something like higher, it could still go in there. Yeah, I'll just leave that there for now. So that is looking really good. This is all looking good. I kept this organic butter. I like the measurement table. I thought it would look neat. And let's see. Should we put it on here? Or is that already too much going on? Okay, I think I like that with that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue there. Now, and last but not least, we have 2 more pieces. And oh, I think we pretty much used every bit. The only thing I did not use, which I'm gonna save, was this little piece. I'm gonna wait for next time. And that coffee in the coffee bag in that, actually, that ghost I can use for my Halloween edition. This I can maybe use. Okay, the tonkatsu ramen. Okay, this is still, like, it's not the healthiest, but you know, for instant flavor, it's still delicious. Let me cut this. I really just liked it for the imagery. And a reminder that one day I shall make it to Japan. That is still a dream of mine. Japan, everyone knows that's like stationery heaven. They have a couple, like, I want to visit Ituya, the Ituya store, and just eat good food. I love sushi. I feel like that would look good. But you know what? Now that I'm flipping through this, I realize none of these pages have pictures of food. So I might just say this for like my moleskin. I could just put it in my moleskin and then just write about that. But I do like a nice soft boiled egg. When I lived in Germany, one of my fond memories was I had these really nice neighbors. They were German, and it was so cute when we would go over and, you know, hang out. They would make these soft-boiled eggs. And that was my very first time experiencing soft-boiled eggs. I think I was like 7 or 8. But they had like those little egg holders, and then they would like cut off the top of the egg in the shell, and then get some German like bread, like the rye bread, and then they would like dip it in there and just eat it. And I would have that for breakfast when we'd, you know, go over during the mornings. Oh my gosh. So like when I eat soft-boiled eggs, it reminds me of like my childhood. So a lot of things are just connected to, yeah, childhood nostalgia. So I love soft-boiled eggs versus hard-boiled. No. Last but not least, this was from the stamps. When I sent out snail mail, it came on this page. And you can actually, depending on the designs that you get, some of them have these illustrations, but you can use these as stickers. And I can just peel this, and I'm going to use this as a sticker. Hold on. I know it does come off, but maybe I should cut it. Hold on. I can use this as a frame. Yeah, I can use this as a frame somewhere, or as decoration. Hold on. Let's see. We're just going to eyeball where it would look good. Somewhere that hasn't had a lot of love. I feel like, again, I've been neglecting kind of like this back area. I don't want to cover too much of the pages because I still, again, I plan on like writing in here. I feel like this, but that it already has something going on right there. That would look good. Just gonna stick it right there. And then these other parts, I'll save it. I have sticker release paper that I I have like a little binder that I keep sticker release paper in, and then I put stickers that I come across like through packages or snail mail that I carefully peel and put, so I will reuse this another time, along with actually this border I can use right now. I could use this maybe it's really dark. Okay, right there. That could go. And I'll just kind of put this right here. Oops. Okay. And then last but not least, this coffee bag. I really just kept it. Again, I don't recommend this brand, so don't go looking it up. It just was not my cup of tea, my cup of coffee. But I knew I could use this beautiful dark like mustard color as a frame or as a border. I'm just loving creating these little borders on my junk journal. I think that's what makes it like look junkier, because you could clearly see, you know, the different colors of paper. So that looks nice. I'm gonna put that there, snip that bit, and then right here, well, does it need both? I kind of like that look. Yeah, let me thin this out a little bit. And I think we're done. Oops. Am I running out? Oh, dang, I just ran out. Okay, let me do a combination of the glue. So I know this video is long, but as you can see, the process does not require much. It's just because I'm hanging out with you, but this really could take no time doing. And as we do the final flip, with all this junk surrounding me, now I can go to sleep at night. I gotta think about the cover. Before I do the flip through, let me see, where is that cover? I was thinking of, okay, I tore open one of the Amazon bubble mailers, and I opened it up because I was thinking I could use this, you know, well, there's excessive but I like right here where it says right here, pull to open. I was even considering putting it towards the edge, folding it. Okay, just imagine. And then I'll just trim some of the top. But I could do this, leave this open. Oh, this is like a trifold. This could be like a trifold journal. But I don't want this to wear out in time. So that, remember that box? I can actually use this. Hold on, actually now that I have you here, let me just see how that would look. Let me cut this box open. I know what some of you may be thinking. You may be thinking like, oh, but Michelle, you could just use the box as the junk journal itself. I could, but I don't like these sharp edges. I don't like square, what's it called? Like, I don't want the spine to be, you know, like boxy. I want it to be round. But yes, that would be an option. You could definitely use any type of box to make it as a holder. And I've done that before. But before this goes in the recycle bin, I could keep this illustration. I would have to trim some of this because this is tall. What do you think? I would obviously cover, you know, like the Cracker Barrel stuff. And that, wait, okay, hold on. Am I onto something? Okay, I kind of like that. Even though it was random, why is that looking good? Do you see how hooked and addicting this is? Like, you're not really thinking, but as you're doing, it comes together. Isn't that crazy? It's like, again, like art magic. You're not thinking, you're doing, but it still like turns out in the end. Okay, I am liking this. Let me hurry up and glue this on here. Hold on. What I'm gonna do, might as well, since I have you, we're invested now. Oh, let me trim. Okay, I wanna keep the frame. I don't wanna cut this frame out because I like the way it looks. So I'm gonna trim as close to that frame as I can. And I really like the blue. I do like this blue, and I don't want to cut this off because it really draws, you know, attention. And it looks good with the buttermilk. Like, I just like this baby blue. Okay, that is looking nice. See, if I would have thought this out ahead of time, I could have bound this all together. But that's okay. That's okay, because what I can still do, I'm going to punch in. I think I'm going to punch in a hole. I have some elastic, or I could use my wax thread too. Basically, I'm going to punch in a hole, and it'll be kind of like a Traveler's Notebook style, where I'll loop through an elastic. Okay, just imagine there's elastic. And then I'm going to thread the elastic through, and it'll just hold it like this, like a Traveler's Notebook style. Yeah, and then if I need to expand, or if I want to add more inserts, that could work. But I think for now, this is already looking pretty big. Well, since I have you here, let's go ahead and just, you see how I have all of these pages on the edge? I really like that look. I could, again, trim it and make it look neat, but I think that's the appealing part, is that it's the rough edges. You know, it's like the process. It's like, it shows character. We all have some rough edges, right? Like, we're all not perfect. And I think that's what I like about it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I can feel right here. That's where I need to cut it. Hold on. I could mark it, or let me eyeball it. Hold on. Okay, I'm folding this so I can see where to cut it. Hold on. I'm really just being lazy. I don't want to mark it with my pen, but let me see. I don't want to use this gel pen. Do I have a regular pen laying around? Hold on. Oops. Where would this cutoff be? Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I need a little bit more trimming on the top. Remember, I want this to show where it says pull to open, because that's where I'm opening the binder, or the junk journal. So I need it to hang, you know, over a little bit, but I also need to allow some room. Okay, right there. It's perfect. Right there. What am I going to use? Okay, I can use my Fabri-Tac glue. Okay, hold on. Let me get my pen, because this is something that I would need to dry overnight. Let me see. Because if I try to keep it on here, it would lift, because this cardboard is a lot stiffer than this mailer. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm marking this with my pen. So I know where the edge is at. Okay. And now I can take this out, giving you one last flip through of how this all came together. Look at this, look at this. Oh, like some of these bits I'm still gonna go through and just tighten it up a little bit. Tidy it up. And you were here with me for the whole thing. It did not take days, it just took, you know, a few minutes. I really like this accordion style. And remember, something can be tucked in here. As you can see, the way I open my mail, I'm just like, boop, get my finger. Oh, I thought that was a piece of paper. I'm so happy with how this turned out. Oh my gosh, this was so fun. Like, if it looked fun to you, it was more fun in like during the process. Like, you have to try this if you haven't. Like, I'm telling you, there's something so freeing about reusing something and giving it another life, and then not really having expectations of the outcome, but being happily and pleasantly surprised with the results. Because again, like, you don't really have a blueprint. Like, you don't really know, you know, I can't say exactly how something's going to turn out because we all have different ephemera that we come across on a daily basis. Now I just got to add in my words, my journalings. I can definitely use all this like with my ballpoint pen, my markers, my gel. It's fun. It's fun. And then I'm going to punch in, you know, a hole here, thread through some elastic. I don't feel like doing all that right now because the way I do it, I like to, I mean, I guess this still has to dry, you guys. This still has to dry. Hold on. So here, oh my gosh, hold on. Before you go, I just saw something on my desk that I wanted to use. Is it advice? I mean, don't take my advice. I'm not the best person to take advice from because, again, I'm not a professional junk journaler. There's a lot more better junk journalers out there and YouTubers you can come across and artists. But I would advise maybe like starting, you know, don't worry if it's not thick, basically. Don't worry if it's not thick, if it doesn't have a lot of life, because you can, as you can see clearly, you can work your way up to it, okay? So if you're discouraged because you're like, oh, I don't have enough junk to make it look like this, it will get like this in time. And each type of paper will have different texture, right? But also, hold on, I just saw something across my table. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. I want it to be as flat as possible. But as this is being on there, let me press this down. Ribbon. Oh my gosh, I got this at a Dollar Tree a couple weeks back, and you know, I'm waiting. Am I waiting? It's already here, I would say. August, September. Next month, I'm decorating my snail mail for my pen pals with this ribbon. And when I decorate the covers and they look a little extra, I definitely make sure I walk into the post office and ask the clerk to stamp it with the non-machinable stamp, because you know the envelope does get thick, and you know you may have to add some extra postage. But I like to decorate, you know, envelopes with different decor. Oh my gosh, this ribbon would look wow. Yes, I think I like that ribbon. What do you think? But hold on. Okay, I'm gonna wait on that. My plan wasn't to put it on the cover. That's gonna dry. It was meant to be put somewhere on here, on the edge. Okay, like somewhere, or like even on the bottom, just to give it a little bit more texture. Oh, okay, I like it right there. Yep. Here I can use. So if you have ribbons like me, and you like to collect those, this is a good opportunity to use them up. It adds texture and more like just visual appeal to it. The fabric tack would actually work better. You might want to leave your page open so that way it dries. So I'll put that there. And then I have this beautiful orange. I feel like this orange would look really good because it's kind of like an earth color. Yeah, I think. Or that would look good. So many possibilities, you see? Oh, yep. I like it right there. And I think, in my experience, I think the fabric tack works best. And then we're done. Oh, speaking of fabric tack, did I ever show you guys? I think in my last junk journal video, when I was working on the Snoopy composition, I think I mentioned how I was going to add ribbon across the cover, but I don't know if I showed you. Okay, I have to let that dry, so I'm going to keep this open. But I use a Fabri-Tac glue to put ribbon here. I have two different designs of ribbons, this bottom one and this top one, and I put the top one here. When you open it, I put it, at first I only had half, but then I thought, well, why should I do that? I should go all the way around. So I added the remaining ribbon on the other side. Of course, right before I was going to bed, I figured a solution out for this cover. Instead of punching holes like I originally intended to make this kind of like a traveler's notebook style, I am just going to use this cover and just tape it right here. This is just a easy method. Again, with my brain, it needs to be, you know, not difficult and not as intimidating. Although punching in the holes and turning this into like a traveler's notebook cover would have worked, but look how easy this is. I'm just using like packing or like masking tape. That tape is very, very strong and sturdy. And I am just taping the cover right here to the back of the original cover. And now this has pretty much secured. I mean, this tape, you guys already know how strong like this duct tape is, right? It's strong. Like this journal is not going anywhere. But now it has like this protection from the mailer, and my pancake card stock cover is dried. And while I was so tempted to create like a little bow and put some type of decoration here on the front, again, I always know I'm going to come across cute ephemera. That's exactly what happened with, remember my composition? I was doing the most with this. I mean, it turned out beautiful, but if you guys have followed through the process, you remember Snoopy was not the original icon here on the front, and it just came in time. And this bow was added, you know, a few days later. So I'm going to give it a couple days because, as you saw, you can accumulate trash in a matter of days. It's so fast, it's so easy. However, as I was going through this junk journal, I remember this little tuck pocket that I made right here? Do you remember these pieces that I saved? I can actually add this into, oh, I forgot I had this clear pocket too. I can add that right now. This was from some tomatoes, a bag of tomatoes I kept. Okay, I probably won't need that. And this snow fog, I'm gonna say this. Well, let's see. Let's see how it'll look. Oh, actually, ooh, okay, hold on. Doesn't that look good? Okay, that was totally unexpected. I was actually just going to glue this right now on one of these random pages. Oh, actually, but that does look good, like right there. Okay, hold on. Let me focus. Or I could put it here in the corner. Or I could put it, let me see, so many options. Because you remember I did it right here. I put like a little stamp. That's kind of like my thing. I like putting something here off into the corner. But I feel like, I don't know, this kind of takes away from the pancakes. Okay, oh, I shouldn't make it harder than it already is. You know what I'm gonna do for now? I will just put a little bit of washi tape, because the nice thing about washi tape, you can, you know, it's somewhat reusable. So if I change my mind on the cover, I'll just gently take the washi tape off. But for now, we'll put the fox there, this sunset imagery that I kept and I held on to. I think, oh, that's kind of pretty. I feel it, like it's ready to be rehomed in this junk journal somehow. Somewhere, some way. Okay, I think, well, let's see. Maybe I like the pink and pink right there, or, oh, we can actually put the pink on that side. Okay. Or let's put it right here. Yeah, we're gonna give it a home on the top. Oh yeah, I'm out of this. And then the last thing we're gonna do is put that sun. Okay, well, so we'll put it right here. So now it's on, oh, that was the Barnes & Noble flap. Okay, and then this sun, I think I can glue this down where that Bass Pro fish is at, because I think that would look really nice. This page is already yellow. Yeah, that looks nice. So I'm just gonna glue that there. Hold on. Put it like that. And then this toiletry, okay, I think this was like my first or second a few junk journal thingies back. Remember, it had like Q-tips in here and cotton balls from the hotel. And I kept this, but I can, oh, I think that'll look good right there. I think that's another tip in. Okay, that's fun. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to show you guys. This is my junk journal. And then I can put something in here. Oh, you know what? I never did put that pink piece of paper in that I meant to right here. I think that would look good. Maybe what I could do, I could staple it or put washi tape. Hold on, maybe I'll put some washi tape. I like this white. And then we will see how this evolves in the upcoming days. Maybe I'll do it like, you know what? I could actually just, yeah, I'll tape like that so I can flip it over. And then now that I have my cover, it is looking good so far.